Hi guys, it's Jeff Gibby here with MetaStock, Director of Sales. Want to thank you for watching the video today. We're going to be talking about a new product that we're releasing with the help of AnneMarie called Target Rich Trades. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about AnneMarie, kind of give you an idea of who she is and what how we know her. We've been working with AnneMarie for about 5 years, and initially she did a video that very much intrigued me about the Stochastic Momentum indicator. And so what we did is over the last year or so, we've been actually kind of working on kind of automating her strategies and kind of getting them locked down into a system that's very, very responsive to current trends, focuses really well on money management. But to say a few things about AnneMarie, she's one of the nicest people I think I've ever met. In addition to that, she's very smart. And I'd say she's one of the best instructors that we work with in her ability to say stuff in a way that is common sense, but also very, very interesting. So we've worked for quite a number of years on this Target Rich Traders. It's something that I worked on her with personally. And then my programmer also worked on her very extensively to kind of get it to be a refined and a very well put together product. So let me show you that. And today what I'm going to do for the demo is I'm just going to show you a bunch of chart examples, give you an idea of what it's actually going to show on a chart and how you could use it to implement your trades. So let's go ahead and jump into the MetaStock platform. I've already preloaded her template, as well as this is a chart of the Dow Industrial Average ETF. The DIA is the symbol, and the DIA is a great instrument. If you want to be able to just long or short the market, you can take positions in it, and you can trade it just like a stock in case you're not familiar with it. So, but it's also kind of a way to kind of look at the Dow. So let's go ahead and kind of, I'll just kind of walk you through exactly what this product is doing and kind of what it's going to identify you in real time. So right now, as of the recording, it's October 24th, and if you've been paying attention to the market, we just had a pretty rapid, pretty surprising sell-off. And so that's right here. It's indicative of the chart. But I want to really more focus on kind of exactly what the product is going to do for you. So the first thing I want to point out is right here at the bottom, what you're going to get is you're going to get trend identification indicator down here, a trend ribbon. And it's going to identify the specific instrument that you're looking at. In this case, we're looking at the Dow Industrial Average, and it's just going to say it's either bullish, neutral, or bearish. Okay, so right now, as of today, we're bearish. We had this huge drop down, and of course that was bearish. It went neutral for a little bit, but right now we've got a classic fight between the bulls who want to push this back up and the bears that want to, and a little bit of indecision. Okay, I'm just going backwards on the chart a little bit. You'll notice right here there's an expert signal that's showing that yesterday was a significant inflection point. We mark that as a resistance area. So and whenever she sees a significant support or resistance area and what she calls an inflection point, she's going to identify that on the chart automatically for you. And that kind of comes into play when we start to talk a little bit about different ways you can play these particular trades. Okay, just a little bit before that, you'll notice we had another inflection point that acted as a support area and kind of held this up for a little bit. Okay, going back just a little bit further, and 2 days before the crash, right here, we had entered officially into a target rich trade sell zone. And with that, what it's saying to you, and I'm going to show you this in the commentary in just a minute, but it's telling you, okay, we've approached a sell zone. Okay, and I think actually that's a good point for us to actually identify and go into the commentary and give you an idea of what that looks like in case you're not familiar with MetaStock, or in case you want to kind of get some of the detailed view of what MetaStock will do for you. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the commentary window here. And right here, what you'll notice is as soon as we load that up, of course, MetaStock's going to stay focused on the far right edge, or the hard right edge right here. So this is the day that it's analyzing currently. But I want to go back to this recent buy zone and kind of give you an idea of the different advice it would give you as it's giving you this sell signal. So you could go ahead and click on that. I've just moved the arrow manually. The expert advisor is now ignoring all of this data after this sell signal and giving us the commentary as it would have appeared that day. So the first thing it's going to tell you is it's going to give you a bit of a market summary. So right now, or a summary of the instrument, I should say. Right now your current trend is bearish. It's giving you the latest support and resistance areas, 265 and 266 respectively. And then it's also giving you a current state. Now since I highlighted the sell zone, it's actually going to kind of give you some advice in terms of what you could do to go ahead and short Dow. And again, this was 2 days before the market just fell apart. Okay, so currently it's telling us that a sell actually has appeared on the chart. You'll notice here that it's actually giving you some advice in terms of what that means. And the other thing that you're going to notice right here is that the current stop value on the chart is 269.33. So not only is it telling you you can go ahead and take a short position, but one of the things that we wanted to focus on was money management. Because with any system, this isn't right all of the time. What we wanted to do was take a conservative approach with our money management. So moving on down to the commentary, this is kind of a checklist that Anne-Marie wants you to be aware of. This doesn't change from day to day like the other stuff does, but she wants you to look at the slope of the overall chart, the slope of the actual bars, and she gives you some pretty good advice in terms of what to do and how to kind of interpret this as a signal. And I'll let you read that on your own. Okay, I did want to show you several examples. Obviously, this is a system that's designed to give you signals. And so what I was doing was flipping through a couple of charts. On the Dow chart, obviously, if we would have went short right before the market crash, it would have been a very good trade for us. If we would go back here a little bit in history, you'll notice we've been looking at buy zones up into this. Here we have a little bit of a stop from this buy. That was a great signal. Here we had a sell and a stop that happened just a few days later. Now, this stop probably lost us a little bit of money, but because we're using money management techniques and we're telling you exactly where to put your stop, we didn't stay long in that trade. In fact, quite the opposite. We went ahead and took a long on the very next day on this entry signal. And what I found is, in regard to this system, what you get is a fairly refined way of looking at the market. It's not very laggy in terms of if you look at it and compare it to like a MACD-based system. It's very responsive to the market, but to make up for that, she uses very sound money management techniques to help you get in and out of a chart. Let's just look at a couple of different charting examples. One of the first stocks I looked at was IBM, and I do want to show that chart to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in IBM right here. Okay. IBM has been in a fairly significant as of late downtrend. Okay, you'll notice right here we had identified this as a resistance zone. Okay, it penetrated support the following day. You got a sell zone, came down to the support area. Now with the support areas, you can do one of two things. If you start to get a support area, you should definitely look to get a little bit more aggressive in terms of your stops, or you could look to get out of the position. It's up to kind of how you want to play with that. Had you held on to this position though, it's still falling apart, and it would have been a good idea. Let's look at a couple of trades on IBM. We'll just go back to the last buy signal. Okay, and just to kind of give you an idea, we bumped up against a support zone. It penetrated the resistance area and met the conditions to give you a buy right here. Went up into this resistance, and then you went straight into that sell zone. So of all of the charts that we've looked at with this and all the times we've tweaked it and refined it, I'm very proud of actually the signals that we've gotten out of this. Let's look at one more stock, and we'll look at a future and a Forex, and I'll show you how to scan with it as well. So the next chart I wanted to show you was Starbucks. So I'll go ahead and kind of switch the chart over to that. And we'll go ahead and let it load in here. Okay, and looking at Starbucks recently, again, the last trade was very, very good. Here you have a little bit of a support zone. This would have come up on a scan just a few days ago, and you can see in spite of the market conditions how well Starbucks is acting, and this would have been a very, very good trade. In fact, if you would have gotten out at this resistance area, you'd be out of this trade for a fairly significant gain. If you're a little bit more aggressive or you like to stay in the position, you just move up your stop to this area, tighten it up a little bit, lock in some of that profit, and see if Starbucks continues to rise. So If futures is your thing, I looked at one future today. That's it. Crude light. So let's go ahead and open up that chart. Okay, crude has fallen apart recently. Here you have a bit of a sell zone, 2 sell zones in a row. And again, what we've done is we've just had kind of a bit of a collapse. Before that, if we just scroll back out a little bit, here we had a pretty good run up, and you'll notice that buy signal isn't coming in at the very bottom, but it's a very receptive indicator to this type of movement in any type of an instrument. And to kind of hammer that out, my last chart example that I'm going to show to you is a currency pair, Japanese yen. So let's go ahead and switch over to that. Okay, go ahead and click on, open up this for you. Okay. And here, again, what we had just recently is a pretty good downward move. Before that, I'll point out that there's a pretty good upward move right here. And again, if you'd just taken this short signal, covered that short right here at this support area, you'd be in pretty good shape. Otherwise, you'd have a nice tight stop here. Okay. Let me kind of show you how the scanning works in case you're not familiar with MetaStock, and I'll give you a little bit of an idea of in terms of how you can use the scanning. So I'm just going to open up what we call the Power Console here at MetaStock. I'm going to go to the scanning, and you'll notice, because I'm going to point it out to you, right here we've got 3 scans. We've got long entry signals, recent inflection points, and short entry signals. Okay, and I've put them as my favorite scans. So that's why they appear at the top of my list. I actually am, on a side note, a total fan of favorite explorations and the functionality that they just added with MetaStock. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run this target rate rich trades long entry signal. So let's say that our opinion is the market is bouncing right now and we're bullish. Let's look for some long entry signals. I'm also going to feed that into recent inflection points. And I'm going to do that against my pre-filtered list. Now, my pre-filtered list is simply a list that I've made. I update it every quarter or so. And it's all the optionable stocks that are at least $5 and have a average volume of at least 200,000. So I'm going to scan basically all of the optionable stocks that I would consider worth trading. Okay, so right here, let's go ahead and do this pre-filtered list. I'm going to go ahead and start the exploration. And the first thing that it's going to identify with our kind of the new scanning engine is it's going to go through all 2,400 stocks and only look for the ones that AnneMarie has long entries or long re-entries for. Okay. The second thing it's going to do is with this target rich trades recent inflections, it's going to go and measure recent moves from either a support or a resistance, what AnneMarie calls inflection points. So we'll just go ahead and let it finish. Right now, we're just to kind of confirm what we're doing is we're scanning this on a daily basis. Okay, and with the magic of technology, the scan is going to be done right now. Okay, so you can see that whole exploration to run both of those actually took 1 minute and 10 seconds to go through all 2,500 of those securities. Okay, and on this first report, what I can see is all of these stocks either had a buy or a re-entry signal. So every one of them would qualify as an entry. And you could certainly take this list and save it and look at it from a chart-by-chart view. I like this recent inflection scan, though, because it allows me to kind of narrow down that list even more. So let me show you that. What we did is we took those 91 results, and then we actually just ranked them based on how much they were up or down from a recent inflection point. Okay, so if I wanted to sort this based on how much something was up, maybe I want to look for something that's running up right now, I can actually sort this. This is actually up about 427 over 2 bars of data. Okay, or maybe I'm looking for stocks that have actually kind of bouncing off of a support area. In that case, I could look at the down number. I could actually kind of identify how much time ago, in other words, how many bars have passed since it bounced off that support and how much it has traveled off of that. So it allows me to kind of go in and kind of do another detail level of scanning to see exactly where it should fit in a trading scenario. So in total, there's 3 scans. There's the long entry, the recent inflection point, and then the short trades. So, and that's pretty much what I wanted to show you here about this particular product. Let's go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint. And just to recap, it allows you to get real-time signals. That would be your buy, sell, your exit signals. It does the bearish and the bullish trend indication. Of course, it's going to give you real-time identification of those support and resistance areas that we were showing on the chart. You're going to get that detailed commentary breakdown. You'll get the ability to do full market scanning like I just showed you. And in addition to that, we're also going to allow you the ability to go in and test these. So if in the case that you have 2,400 stocks that you're interested in, like 2,400 optionable stocks, you'll be able to go in and actually kind of create a list of the stocks that have performed best with this particular methodology as well. Pack that in with the comprehensive user manual. Anne-Marie put a lot of detail into her section of the manual that's going to go through step by step kind of the thought process that she uses for trading, and she did a great job. She was so helpful in the creation of that. This add-on is available as a one-time cost, so you pay for it once. And like any of the one-time products that we sell, we offer it with our unconditional money-back guarantee, which means our promise to you is if it isn't beneficial, if it isn't actually helping you make better trading decisions, you can return it for a full refund. And for me, as a trader, that's the kind of risk-reward ratio I can get behind. So thanks for watching the video. I'll see you at the next one.